Moms do the most, okay? And moms, you guys are the best. From conception to delivery to postpartum to dealing with newborn, and the different phases of motherhood goes on and on and on. I'm here to encourage you, and I'm here to tell you that you are the best. Remember the blessings of the Lord, it maketh rich and added no sorrow with it. I know you might be wondering why am I telling you all this, because potty training is a lot, and I'm sure you've seen the topic here from this video, and that's why we're here today. So I'm just here to encourage you and let you know that you're doing well, and God will not give you and trust a whole human into your care if He did not know that you were willing and able or well equipped to handle these precious little ones. So then again and yet again, I tell you, you are doing well. Okay? So give yourself a warm hug, encourage yourself, and don't give up, because it will get easier. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther, and in today's video, I'll be talking about potty training. Yes, potty training, or a relaxed approach to potty training. All right. I know that potty training can be a whole lot for, especially if you are a first-time mom, a second-time mom. You might want to watch this video to the end, because I'll be sharing tips on how to approach potty training from a relaxed method or a relaxed approach to potty training using the Montessori philosophy. Okay, right? I experienced potty training with my baby, and it was a lot. But when I figured out this method, it took away the stress from me, right? And I would like to share these tips with you. Okay, so stick on to the end. And the first thing we need to understand with potty training is that potty training can be a lot, but it doesn't have to be a lot for you. Okay, now why is that so? We have the Montessori philosophy. We approach potty training. We don't really take a look at it as potty training, but we see it more or less like toilet learning. Okay, and we see it from the angle of being a natural occurrence that every human being will get to go to. And the difference here now is that you are the mom, you are guiding your child on how to be human with regards to this particular area of life. So it is a milestone that will definitely happen, like walking, like talking, and we don't need to stress, we don't need to rush, we don't need to get over it as fast as we can. Okay, so I know that there are a whole lot of 3 days on how to potty train your baby in 3 days, or 5 days, or 6 days, or all of these fast rules. But let's take a deep breath. Yes, you will be fine, your baby will be fine, and he or she is going to learn how to use this toilet as they proceed. Okay, so know this and know peace. Now the next question is, how do I know when my baby is ready, or when my child is ready for toilet learning or potty training? Okay, we are approaching it from the Montessori philosophy, and Dr. Maria Montessori, she developed a course, or a method, or a means where she called them sensitive periods. Those are periods that, after a lot of research, these periods are at that point the baby is, or that child is at its peak to learn or develop that new skill or hit that milestone. So you want to take a look at your baby or your child and see and note note his or her sensitive periods. Okay, now sensitive periods for toilet learning would typically start from when they hit 1 year. Now from 12 months of age. Okay, but that does not mean that they are ready to start using the toilet, or they are ready to use it. But from 12 months up and above. But typically, research, which is common in most babies, from 18 to the 24-month-old mark, which is 1 year, 6 months up until 2 years, right? Your baby should be, so that's the period where they're able to, that's more or less the sensitive period for toilet learning for your baby. Okay? Now, how will you notice that they are in these sensitive periods? They begin to start showing signs, and you see things like they would hold themselves longer when they're wearing diaper. They would stay dry longer during the daytime. And they might be, if they are verbal, if they're communicating with you, you'll say that they begin to tell you that they want to peep or they want to poop, or if you communicate with your baby using sign language, they might begin to use the sign language on you. Probably, whatever it is, or whatever sign language it is that if you are used to use, if you have trained your child with sign language, okay? So you will notice these different attributes in your little one, and you know that he or she is ready to use the toilet, okay? Now, what's the next thing to do once you have discovered that your baby is ready and you have noticed that they start showing signs to use the toilet? And the next thing is to prepare the environment. And remember, I told you in my other video, if you have not watched it, go and watch it, on that we are practicing the Montessori method of training, the Montessori philosophy here at home with him. Okay, now you would want to prepare the environment because we are setting up our child for independence. And Montessori, using the Montessori philosophy, one of the core values that we are big on is independence. So you want to set up your child for independence as soon as you begin. So you want to get a little potty. I don't have one around me yet. Maybe I'll show you a little potty. A potty comes with your bathtub set and all of that. So you get that potty, you have your potty right at hand. If you want to start by using that, then you'd also, if you want to, depending on your household though, if you want to move directly to using the toilet, you might want to get a step stool that would help the baby's baby's bum to fit in that stool. I'll show you in the video. I'll show you what it looks like here in the video. Okay, I'm sure we've seen quite a couple of them online and all of that. So you might want to use that to, if that's how your household is. So if you want your household to work in that line, but this is completely up to you. All right. So, and another thing you will also need to do in preparing the environment is to get like a little basket or a little bowl that has this particular one came with the baby's bathtub, so I didn't have to go get something else. But we have basket here that I also was using intermittently. But a little bowl like this that has a tissue paper, underwear. If you don't want to use tissue paper or underwear, you can use wipes if you're not comfortable with using the tissue paper, and quite a couple of underwear, just put it there in there for your little one. All right. And you want to put it beside where the potty is to encourage independence with your little one. When it has to do with choosing a potty, I know there are a lot of fancy potties. There are a lot of potties with flashlights, a whole lot of, blinking and amazing looking things on the internet there. But actually, you don't really need that. All you need is just a simple potty that your child can sit there and use the toilet, when he or she is ready to use it. Okay. Remember that when choosing a potty, the goal of toilet learning here for your little one should not be about entertainment, okay? But it's about teaching your child how to do a natural occurrence, which is to poop and to pee, okay? So it doesn't have to be entertaining or any form of gimmicks and all that to get your baby to do something, or you're trying to lure your child to do something. It's just you're teaching your child how to live, how to be human. Okay, so when you're out of the house during this potty training season, you might also want to use pull-up diapers during the night time and also during the nap time, so that it's not too stressful for you. I know when you want to start potty training, your mindset is all like, he's ready or she's ready, let him or her stop the potty and all of that. But you might want to take a step back and give your little one time, okay? And they will learn and they will pick through it gradually. Now, I want you to take this very important. And one thing you need to wear on your sleeves is patience. So patience is key when approaching potty training, okay? Potty training is not a 3-day process. It's not a 5 days or a 7 days process. Maybe you've had stories of friends and families that have done that. But we're talking about taking a look at it from a relaxed approach where you're not too stressed and you're not putting the stress and the mental load on you. Because as a mom, there's a whole lot you're already doing. I don't want to add that extra mental load and overwhelming feeling to your plate. Okay. Now, it's a milestone, it's a milestone that I mentioned earlier, that would be attained gradually, just like walking, talking, or any other milestone that your baby would get to hit, as they grow older. Now, where do you begin? Right? You've prepared the environment, you've gotten yourself ready. Where do you begin? Now, you would want to keep it simple, okay? Keep it as simple as possible. First things first, take away the diapers, okay? And start gradually, depending on your work schedule and how you're dealing. If you're sending your little one to school, if you're staying at home and all of that, right? Now, you would want to take away the diapers and start putting them on their pants or their underwear, right? Now, what this will do is it would help them to know when they are wet and when they are dry. That's the very first step. But like I mentioned earlier on, you can leave the diaper on during the nap time and during night time, because as they get into the potty training, you begin to drop the diapers, one step at a time, right? Okay, so now that's out of the way. Now, how would it look like for the next few days or for the first few days of the potty training when you're taking away the diaper? There will be a lot of misses or a lot of accidents, lot of peeing on the floor, lot of pooping in different places of the household. And that is the joy that comes with it. And that is the process. Okay, so hold on, don't give up, because it will actually get better. All right, so take it all in that first period, that first week, few days, and as you continue in it, know that it would get better. Okay, I experienced it with my little one. In fact, for the first time, when he was ready to when he was ready to be potty trained when we saw that he was really ready, he kept on giving us cues, he kept on removing the diapers by himself and all of that. And we just saw that was around that 15 months. I waited till 15 months for him. And then I saw that he was ready. And then we now started the learning and all of that. The first few weeks was a whole lot. In fact, after like 2 weeks, I gave up. And I went back to wearing diapers for another 2 weeks again. And then we started again. And things like that. And it happened. And then today he's fully potty trained, and he uses the toilets and he communicates it very well. So I want you to know that you should not give up, because it will actually get better. Okay. And like I mentioned to you, potty training is not a one-off thing. It's not a 3-day thing. It is a process that might take weeks and even months. So be ready for it. I thought it would take me like 2-3 weeks or like a month at most, but it took me months, almost 4 months or 5 months. Yeah, about 5 months before he was fully acquainted with it. So don't give up, girl. I'm rooting for you. Now, how would you take them when they are during the daytime if you're in the house? Now, these first few days, you might want to leave them at home, or you might stay at home with them, depending on your work schedule and depending on how your household is and all of that. Right? So you might want to stay back at home with them that first few days or something like that. And then as you proceed, you might now just walk around your schedule or something like that. Okay. And if you're a stay-at-home mom, then it might be easier for you to stay at home and then just continue the process with him, right? But for me, I was at that period. I went back to work, and it was a whole lot. So it was a period of me staying at home with him not wearing his diapers, and then we going out, taking him out with me, and him wearing diapers and coming back. So that back and forth, was not really the best for him, and that's what sort of slowed down his process. In my opinion, sort of, right? But in general, he picked it up and he was, he learned, of course, like I mentioned. Okay. So you would want to, if you're going to be using diapers with him with your baby, your little one, when you're going out, just have it in mind that it will take longer, right? Like it did with me, or like, it will just take longer for you. But if you quit the diapers all through when you're going out and all of that, it might take a shorter period for you, but still, this is still very, very debatable, or very, very based. This is still all based on your little one's ability to adapt to the changes, and every other thing going around him or her. Okay. Now, another tip for you is to quit the time check. For me, that at my niche, the first stage for me was I was always checking time. Every 30 minutes, I'll run and carry him to the toilet and make him to pee. After a while, I saw it was not working. I took it down to 1 hour, and it was a whole lot of stress and tension that first period, a whole lot, that first 1 or 2 weeks. But when I quit the whole time check, okay, I stopped checking the time. I just allowed him be. And I would just be watching him. And when I see it and I notice his cues, when I see him, scream a little way, or when he became more verbal, of course he might not say it he wasn't saying it from the beginning, but as the potty training process continued, he now learned how to, I want to pee, I want to use pee and all of that. Okay, so quit the time check. It's going to stress you, and you don't want that. Okay, so just watch your little one and see and notice their cues. And when you see them scream a little bit, or after a couple of hours, or when it's bedtime, before nap time, before meal times, those different kind of times, just like you would naturally do it, you know, you would just want to take them there. And when you take them to use the toilet or the potty, you don't need to sit down there for a long time. Think about your own self as a, you know, as a human, you know, think about yourself naturally. How long will you stay there? So you just put them there for a few minutes, you know. If they don't go, that's it. If they go, that's it. Okay. So now this is very important. Once they get to use the toilet and they get to pee or poo or whatever it is, don't do anything. Don't applaud them. Don't clap for them. Don't say, yay, you did it. Yes, high five. It is not necessary. Okay. I know this might be unpopular opinion, but it is not necessary. Think about yourself. When you go to use the toilet, who claps for you? Who applauds you? Who, you know, who gives you that round of applause and all of that? You are teaching your child how to be human. So that, and going to use the toilet is a natural thing that happens. Okay. So there is no need for that. You might want to say, oh, I see you did it. Oh, use the toilet. Oh, that's okay. Next time you use the toilet. So if they also get to miss, so now here is on the second part. If they get to miss, like we would like to call it, or they get to have an accident, you don't want to berate them. You don't want to hit on them. You don't want to make them feel bad. Like, why did you do that? Don't do that again. Or you don't want to punish them. Okay. So that is not necessary because you're teaching them how to be human. Remember. Okay. So if they miss, you could just go, oh, I see you missed. Tell them what you want to see the next time. Oh, next time, go ahead and use the potty, okay? Your pee goes into your potty. I said that thing, I made that phrase for like, I kept on saying the phrase because Jesus. I was always saying it. My son was missing everywhere in the house. And I was, my angel, your pee goes into your potty. Your pee goes into your potty over and over again. It can get tiring, but don't give up, okay? Now we are diaper free and it's so beautiful. Okay. So do not give up. All right. So don't make them feel bad for peeing or pooing on the floor. Do not do any of that stuff. And don't try to bribe them. Okay. Remember in the Montessori philosophy, we don't do it. There's no form of bribe or punishment. So don't try to bribe them. Oh, if you go and pee, I'll clap for you. If you pee, I'll give you a high five. If you pee, I would buy you sweets or whatever promise you make to them. I'll not buy you ice cream. You peed on the floor. Natural occurrence, remember? Okay, so since that is out of the way, we can proceed. All right. So let's rewind back a bit. Basically, that's it. Once they are able to get a hang of it, that's it, and to keep on getting better and better. You might have some rough moments in the middle of it, but don't worry, they will catch up. Okay. So let's go by it again. Potty training, toilet learning is not a 3-day, a 5 days, a 7 days, a 1 week action marathon. All right. It is a process and you want to allow your little one to walk through that process. Have at the core of your mind that your little one is a human and you being the mom, the primary caregiver, you are teaching your child or you are teaching this child that God has given you how to be human. Okay. And just think about your Heavenly Father. How does He love you? He doesn't punish you. He doesn't bribe you. He doesn't do any of all of those things to get you to do something that you should be walking in. He will love on you and He will show you the way. So it's the same thing we should do with our little ones. Okay. So that's it. And that's all the tips I have to share for this video. And this video is actually part of my series that I tagged Motherhood and Montessori, the things I taught my son before he turned 2. And I hope that this video has helped you. Kindly like, comment, leave a tip for me or something, and I'll be here to respond to comments. If you have any question, I'm also here. If you also have topics that you'd like me to share on this motherhood journey, I'll be more than willing and eager to hear from you. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.